All right, everyone. Let's dive into something really exciting today. We're talking green tech. And not just the futuristic stuff. We're getting into the practical solutions that are already making a difference.
Absolutely.
We're working with notes from Masood Khan's Sustainability Rewired podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And I gotta say, that title alone, Sustainability Rewired, it's like, it gets you thinking, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new perspective on how we approach this. It's about finding new ways,
Yeah.
rewiring our thinking.
Yeah. And Khan, he doesn't hold back. He dives right into some really cool green tech. He starts with energy efficiency technologies, which, okay, at first glance might seem kind of, I don't know, basic.
Right.
But honestly, it's easy to underestimate how powerful it is.
It really is. And we often get caught up in looking for these big, like, revolutionary solutions. And don't get me wrong, those are important. But sometimes the simplest things have the biggest impact.
Yeah.
Like, just think about LED light bulbs.
Bro, yeah.
They're everywhere now, but they've made a huge difference in energy efficiency.
Totally. And it kind of sneaks up on you, like you don't always realize how much those everyday things have actually changed.
Right.
It's not all about light bulbs, though, right? I mean,
No.
we're talking about things like carbon capture and storage. Now, that sounds pretty high tech.
It is. It's like almost science fiction-y. Imagine like capturing carbon emissions from, say, a power plant,
Yeah.
right? Or a factory before they even have a chance to get into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And get this, they're looking at storing this captured carbon in old, depleted oil wells.
Wow.
So you're taking something that was a source of pollution and you're turning it into a storage solution. Pretty amazing.
That's wild. It really is like it makes you think differently, like how can we rethink these processes entirely? So we've got energy efficiency, carbon capture. What other innovations did Khan talk about?
Well, he got into sustainable manufacturing, which is like a whole other level of innovation. You've ever heard of a company called Biomason?
Biomason, no.
So they were actually growing bricks
Growing burners.
using bacteria. Sounds crazy, but it's real.
What is instead of, that whole traditional manufacturing process, which uses a ton of energy, they're actually using biological processes.
Exactly. And it's not just bricks. 3D printing is changing the game. Companies are using it to make everything from building parts to, get this, medical devices, which means less waste, less transportation. It's amazing.
Wow. It's incredible to see all this like cutting edge tech being used in such a sustainable way. It really feels like we're on the verge of something big. But I do wonder, are there any potential downsides? Like, are there any drawbacks to these new manufacturing methods that we need to be aware of?
Oh, absolutely. It's really important to look at both sides, to ask
Yeah.
those tough questions. Like, take 3D printing, right? It can be incredibly efficient, but the materials used, well, they're not always easy to recycle, which is a problem. So, we still have work to do. It's not perfect.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's easy to get caught up in all the positive changes and forget to look at the bigger picture. But it's crucial to consider the entire life cycle of these technologies. So we've talked about energy efficiency, carbon capture, sustainable manufacturing. It's a lot. Is there anything that stood out to you most from all of Khan's insights?
For me, what really stuck with me is this. Innovation. It's not always about coming up with something completely brand new.
Right.
Sometimes it's about taking what we already have
Yeah.
and finding ways to make it better, make it more sustainable.
Yeah.
And that's something we can all do, in our own lives. Whether it's thinking about the choices we make as consumers or supporting businesses that are trying to make a positive impact.
I love that. It's empowering to remember that we all have a part to play in creating a more sustainable future. And maybe, just maybe, by supporting these technologies and making conscious choices, we can actually rewire not just sustainability, but our entire approach to how we live on this planet.
Well said. Couldn't agree more.
And on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive that, hey, keep those green gears turning, everyone. What if you were starting a business today? How could you use these technologies to make a difference?
Food for thought.
Until next time.